Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King, and today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Was Reborn in a New World with Rimuru abilities. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and if you don't already know, I have 5 channels: Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime Prince, and Anime Symbol, guys. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead, check them out and enjoy. And don't forget to comment down below if you're new so I can, well, welcome you personally, guys. And if you want your what if to be done, go comment over on Anime Symbol, guys, where you can get a chance to have it placed in a poll and be done by me personally, guys. So go ahead, check out that, and yeah, enjoy. So without further ado or wasting more time, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now, guys. So a little bit of a flashback from the last part that we left off. Naruto and Mei, along with the dwarf and the others, were making their way towards the town when they came across a scene in front of them. It was a church. However, this church only cared about humans. They saw all other race as skirmish and infested beasts of the world, so they wanted to purify them. They came across a half-snake lady and another with horns. Turns out that this was a daughter of Ainz and also the daughter of the king as well. They had left their home and they were going out on an adventure. So now they were trapped and surrounded by all the soldiers and the priest that was there. The man was a man that believed in his, well, prophecies, and he was crazy. They started to attack them, as Naruto could not stand for that, so he jumped in the path, surprising all of them as he stood there. The man was disgusted by seeing a hobgoblin coming here to try and defend these monsters. He was going to purify every single one of them. So with that, he raised his weapons as he summoned an angel with 4 wings, releasing chaos down upon them. However, Kurama told Naruto about all the skills that he had awakened and the power that was continuously growing inside of him. As Naruto was able to blast away the attack like it was nothing, he used several dangerous, powerful attacks after another, as he ended up getting a bit tired though. But still, the attacks had completely destroyed the angel and forced the priest away. The priest had used his own man as fire. The men were screaming that they could continue serving, but the priest did not care. They were all going to die for his sake. The captain that was there was angry at the priest, as he was forced to switch over to Naruto's side. However, Naruto's attack blasted right through the man's attack and ended him. That is when she showed up. She was from the other rival palace, a girl. She had the special fire stone, the orb that possessed immense power, as she was here for Joseph. She wanted to kidnap the daughter of the king of the palace that they were going to. As the girl removed her hood to show that she was half snake and half human, her mother was, well, a snake woman, and the king had married her. Naruto was surprised when he saw her, to think that he was defending a princess the entire time. As the girl in the sky came down towards them, brimming with power, as Naruto stepped in front of the princess, saying that he would not allow her to take her. However, she said that she would go right through Naruto. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place of yourself. So this will begin this new episode, guys. The place was silent as everyone watched as a blonde soldier hovered in the sky, pointing her special modified rifle right between Naruto's eyes. It was not modified for her size, so it seemed rather out of place, but she held it with ease. Why do you want the princess? Naruto asked, as he looked at her, his gaze narrowing. Direct orders, they ask, and I do as I am told and deliver, where it is needed. But I guess there is no better leverage than having the ruling king daughter as a hostage. And also, it ensure my raise in prestige and importance. After my constant 100% successful rate of rapidly delivering what is asked for, she mentally added to herself as she looked down. I have saw some bold moves in the past, but this is just asking for war. Have you people any idea what the hell you are doing? And how did you even know that she was outside of the castle? Just how far in are your spies? The captain of the church guards, the only survivor of the group, said out loud as he looked towards her. I am just doing as I am ordered. However, if we can do this so openly, doesn't that mean that we must want Devin attention? Even though it might cause a war between the both of us, she said, with a nonchalant shrug. And you think the other kingdoms and the other crowns won't act as well, said Naruto. You have no idea how things work, do you? The other crowns hate each other. If one of them were to be removed, the others would cheer in joy. Because that means they have one less enemy to worry about. We just want our might to be recognized. If we don't bother others and simply step on Devon's feet alone, the others would be happy to look elsewhere because they are not directly involved. And besides, the fall of Devon would prove to be a great success for them as well. So them coming together and intervening is something that will not be possible. Kurama spoke up in Naruto's mind. No one will intervene between the war of Devon and her country, which is Baradse, because they don't want to be weakened in the process. As long as they see their opponent being weakened, they would rejoice to attack the weakened opponent and claim all the spoils of war for themselves. It's just like back in the Elemental Nation, Kurama said. The captain looked at her as memories were going through his head. I remember you. They call you the Devil of the Rhine. And I remember you. Thundering Spear, she said to him. Old acquaintance of yours, Albedo said, as she gripped her weapon tightly until her knuckles turned white. She's the second lieutenant of the Red Valkyrie. They are the flight mages of Baradse. She's also the one that took my eye the last time we met in retaliation of me taking away her liver. I still curse that damn magic shield of hers for deflecting my attack, he answered as he cast a finger over his eye patch. I was promoted to first lieutenant after that battle, Captain Lars, and it was a real pain having an artificial liver being sewn in place of my old one. So I feel satisfied with the tiny result of taking your eye away, she answered. With a snarl, the captain growled himself as he spoke her name. Tanya, he said. Naruto looked over towards him. So, do you have any suggestions on how we should fight her, he said, keeping one eye still focused on her as she floated in mid-air. Normally, the area right above the medallion is where her magic shield is mostly unstable because that is where it originated from, and where it still has to stabilize into a protective defense. But the last time, even with my strongest attack, it was able to resist it. Even if I pierced her barrier, my spear still got deflected by the flow of magic away from her heart. So it's definitely not easy to break through it. What is more worse is, this medallion is different from the one she was using back then, and this one looks way more powerful than that one. So I have no idea how much power you would need to break it down now in order to get through. Lars answered as he was still glaring at the girl. Anything else Naruto asked? She has some damn good accuracy. She hardly stays in the same place, and if threatened, she will charge forward at high speeds to use her mage blade for close combat. And she's so damn tiny, it's hard to follow her. And if you lose track of her, you're dead. She seemed to have gained a very powerful fire affinity, and she's not afraid of collateral damage in the slightest. I can offer some cover, but unless we force her down and stop her from flying away, I don't see a way that we can defeat her, the captain said. Capture or kill? Naruto asks. Capture. We will bring her to my father so she can tell us more about Barodse. Alice said. Well, if we can, I think we should kill her instead, just in case, Albedo said. I'll go for capture at first. I still feel a bit uneasy about killing a kid, Naruto said, as a bullet hole was in front of his feet. I suggest you forget about me as a kid. Otherwise, this fight will not last for too long, Tanya said, as she aimed her rifle back towards Naruto's skull. Make room, Naruto said, as Lars, Albedo, and Alice stepped back, dragging May with them by force. I help! May shouted as Olaf covered her mouth. You help with shooting arrows, but not that. With this, Olaf said, as he took something from behind him. It was a very heavy-looking complex crossbow. The arrows are extremely powerful explosives, and the recoil is enough to break an adult human shoulder. Be careful, and when you're done, give it back to me. I feel naked without it, Olaf said, as May struggled to cork it back once he reloaded the weapon. However, she nodded. May will be good, she said. She and I will help him with the arrows. We need to not be seen by Tanya as we take up our position, the captain said as he took a giant bow from one of the dead soldiers. I'll use it well, Jeffrey. Then I'll make sure that your father will get your family heirloom, Medusa, great bow, as he lifted the massive, large stone bow. That's a promise, he said to the dead soldier. Follow me, he said to May. However, May made her way back towards Naruto as she proceeded to kiss him on the cheek, surprising him. Be careful, she said to him, as she made her way off with Lars. Albedo, Naruto said. Yes. Can you do the wall trick again? Naruto asked. To keep the merchant safe. I am not sure how much it will last against her bullets, but yes. Walls of Jericho, the succubus said, as the tall black walls came up out of the ground to protect Olaf and the convoy. Thank you, said Naruto. He blinked in confusion as he felt himself become extremely lighter. Quick step, Alice said, as the blue aura around Naruto died down. It will make you move slightly faster, the Snake Princess explained. Thank you, said Naruto as he tilted his head. The bullet gazed past him and slammed into the ground. He then proceeded to take off at blinding speeds. That spell did wonders, Albedo said as she saw him move off. That is not me. At my level, I can only increase 10% of the target speed. Majority of that was all him, Alice said in wonder. Oh, the others said in surprise. Body of Enjabira, as Naruto felt his body went buff. Albedo, Alice said, looking towards her. I may not know many buffing spells, as you are the healer and buffer between us, but raising his evasiveness should still suffice, the succubus said with a smile. Then together, Alice said, placing her hand on the staff. Together, Albedo said, as the both of them spoke in unison. Bless of Magic Caster, Infinite Walls, Magic Ward, Fire, Life Essence, Grateful Potential, Freedom, False Data, MP, See-Through. Both girls buff all of Naruto's stats. Several different auras surround his body, increasing his speed, his strength, making him more nimble. As his spells hit even harder, the shield that was covering Tanya started to tremble, and she could not fire at him because she was only hitting through the after images, and there was a lot of them as he moved. Paranormal intuition. Olaf heard as he turned. Thea, he said. It will make him see when she's about to attack, the young mage with his group said, with a smile. Good girl, Olaf said. Greater resistance. Call out Shin as he applied the buff to Naruto. He's not your friends only, guys, Shin said with a smile. Mantle of Chaos, Albedo said, as she collapsed her knees, as she was running low on mana after all of that. Indomitability, Alice said, as she took hold of the staff to steady herself. She too was shaking. Sensor Booster, Greater Luck, Magic Boost, Dominant Power. I too learned those just to defeat you. I will have my revenge today, the captain muttered from his hiding spot as he cast the same buff on himself and the same on Naruto as well. Greater Hardening, Shin said, as he buffed Naruto once again. Heavenly Aura, Thea said, with Naruto. Holy crap, Kurama yelled out as the buffs kept on piling up. Absorption, Kurama said, as the essence were flowing into Naruto. Is that why I feel like I'm about to burn up, said Naruto. He could predict the movements of the bullets before they even left their gun. They're buffing the crap out of you. We'll have a lot of people to thank once we're done here. Now focus and capture this lolly. Psycho bitch. The buffs died down as the casters were too exhausted to use more. But it didn't matter. Got it, said Naruto. He broke the ground as he leaped high in the sky. Gravitas, said Naruto, as the gravity spell slammed down upon her. With Tanya. Warning, warning, warning. Incoming attack. The robotic voice of the pendant rang in her head. I know, she said as she flew back, as the blade that he was using scraped across her shield. She frowned. Die, she screamed. She sacrificed accuracy just to blast him right in the face. Naruto slammed his sword into the bullet. The sword exploded into pieces. However, not the bullet, of course, that grazed past his cheek. Damn you, she yelled. Since when does people help hobgoblins? And when since Hobgoblin can fight this good? Boom! Tanya was cut off as two arrows slammed into her shield rather violently. As the explosion rang out through the air, she could no longer see Naruto as she searched the area he was gone. Meanwhile, with Mei, as she reloaded the crossbow, before she fired once again right through the smoke. Boom! Tanya was blown back. Good. Follow me. A good archer should keep on moving, the captain said, as Tanya was gazing around their location. If she found them, it wouldn't be too pretty. Mei nodded as she went with the captain. Back with Naruto. Tanya was having a hard time keeping track of him as he was leaping through the trees. Why can't I detect him unless I fly lower? Why is he that good at hiding? What is that skill even? She thought to herself with a hiss. As her target was breaking the law of physics, it shouldn't be possible. Not even this new world that she found herself in. She saw people do those things. So how the hell could he do that, she thought to herself. Skill detected. Tree walking. Her medallion spoke to her as Tanya was forced to drop even lower in altitude. As she was getting really pissed off. Give me more info, damn it, she said, as she snapped her gaze around looking around at every noise that is made within the forest. Error. No skill tree walking found in memory. Do you wish to register the new discovered skill? The medallion spoke. So it's one that we never knew up until now. God damn it. Record everything. Might as well know it all once we're done here. Tanya ordered to the medallion. As she heard the branch behind her snap, she spun around. Over here. As Naruto's fist slammed against her barrier, making it bend and deform. Tanya screamed in frustration as she spun around and released a massive burst of flames. Flame bursts! She rained fire all around her. However, to her surprise and confusion, he was once again nowhere to be seen. This thing has a high stealth than any normal. To hell with this. Magi scan, she said, as she started to scan the entire place. Now! The captain ordered, as him and Mei fire arrows at the same time. However, instead of exploding, they produce a bright light and also a screaming sound that disoriented Tanya. Tanya screamed as the stunning arrows affect her eyes rather badly. Go get her, Naruto, the captain ordered, as he and Mei hit back once again. Tanya cracked open one of her eyes. Die! Die, 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 she yelled as she tried to kill the archers. She blasted everything within the forest as much as she could. Target, lock on. The medallion, lock on to me. The silhouette that is. Tanya did not hesitate as she blasts. However, at the same time, a sword had slammed right into her rifle. The bullet slammed into the tree right next to Mei's head, as Naruto's sword had tilted slightly. You! Tanya hissed as she saw Naruto, her eyesight recovering enough for her to see him. Focus on me, you brat, Naruto yelled, as his throwing knife bounced away from her shield. She covered her hand in flame and swiped to behead him immediately. However, his body was replaced with a log. What the? Is that a log? Warning. Unknown skill. The medallion spoke. A little substitution, pulled out in the last possible moment. I guess it's back to the basics, Naruto said, as he was standing on a tree, eye to eye with Tanya. A substitution. You switch place with a log in order to dodge my mage blade, Tanya said with a growl. I pulled a fast one on you. Pretty much, said Naruto. Compared to normal hobgoblins, you are strong, fast, different. There are too many unknown variables here. You are not a normal hobgoblin. Your skin color for a goblin should have been a clear signal that you are not the normal kind of monster I usually fight. But you are exceeding every variation that I've studied up until now, she said as she glared at him. I see no other solution here. Libra, she said, as a red aura surrounded Naruto from her point of view. She's trying to appraise us, Kurama warned him. She's distracted then. Now, said Naruto as 5 shadows rained on her from behind. However, her medallion warned her as she spun. Fire burst, she said, turning the attackers to dust. The problem was, when she did turn around, she left her back wide open to Naruto. As Naruto club slammed into her barrier, she was sent spiraling as she slammed through several trees. She wasn't hurt that much, but she was still shaking. That was because of the barrier still providing her with protection. Damn trees. How, she said, as she turned. So cutting and blunt force are useless against your barrier spell. Well, I guess it's time to try that. Masterpiece, Naruto said, a smirk on his face. The medallion that she has, it is in control of that shield. It has too wide of a range for you to take her by surprise. And at the current level you're at, you won't be able to move that fast to get around it. So you're gonna have to break right through it, Kurama said. Yeah, said Naruto as he held out his hand. Danger, danger. Mana level, reaching critical levels. Continuous use of the barrier defense. Require extra MP in order to strengthen defense against superior attack. If surpassing normal barrier strength. Do you wish to keep settings on automatic? The pendant asked her. Yes, I'm not going to let a damn hobgoblin kill me. Now tell me the result of the appraisal, Tanya growled. As the bar finally filled. Danger, danger. Enemy status exceeding hobgoblin status by a lot. As Naruto rushed towards her, dodging all of her bullets until one burst through his skull, until he poofed away. What the hell, said Tanya. Where did he? Rasengan. Tanya barely had enough time as she spun around and raised her shield once again. The sound was loud and immense as a blue spear of chakra crashed against the barrier, grinding forward into it. Sparks started to fly everywhere as Naruto kept on drilling and drilling. Tanya started screaming anger and rage as her ears started to bleed. Danger, danger. Mana levels below 10%. Danger. Unknown to her, a hairline crack appeared on the medallion. However, she took it as a normal warning, not thinking that it was different. As the appraisal kept on coming in. Results ready. Display. Monster's name. She was able to see the appraisal that the others saw, thanks to Kurama blocking out majority of the things However, it shocked her to what she was seeing, just like the others. Teleport! Teleport, she said. Cracks on the dome as she disappeared and reappeared a few feet away. Teleport. High praise will support magic, moving the target away from any attack to avoid collision. It costs a shitload of MP to how far you move yourself compared to where the target is. But in this case, it saved her life, Kurama explained. Meanwhile, over with Tanya. Warning. Mana levels are at 5%. Suggestion, cease fighting to avoid loss of consciousness from MP depletion. The Metalian was staticed and tripping out. However, she ignored that. She was glaring at Naruto. Who are you? What are you? You can't be a goddamn hobgoblin. Who the hell are you? She screamed in frustration as she glared at him. Answer me, she roared. You are about to die, child. Remember, should your death not be a natural one or happen before your redemption, your soul will no longer exist. Though, should you repent and accept the blessing from God, your soul shall be saved instead. So pray and teach to these children not to believe in false God and accept the true fate that you have been chosen for. A thundering voice boomed inside of Tanya's head. She could tell that the owner of the voice had a smug smile on his smug face. Me? Pray to you? Never, she said in fury in her head. As Naruto spoke up, I am Naruto Namikaze, future greatest mercenary to ever walk this land. And I'm gonna kick your ass for coming after my friends. Friends? Albedo said. Hell yeah you are, said Naruto. Because I decided. That caused Albedo and Alice to chuckle a bit. At least all of this was not for nothing then. We apparently got to ourselves a friend, Alice said with a smile. Tanya was losing her shit. As they were smiling, she was getting more and more angry. My future. My perfect score in the army. The wonderful career that will take me from the front lines. All in ruin. Everything I worked so hard for, everything I achieved, crumbling in dust. Because of him. Her eyes settled on Naruto. The hate was rage. It was palpable, leaking from her. As she could literally look at the huge obstacle between her completing her mission and what she knew would have been the next step for her. Far away from the battlefield, like how she had planned, but he stood in her path. The voice boomed in her head once again. Pray and accept the blessing of your true God. The individual was known as Being X. He wanted her to tap into the full power of the pendant that he helped her country develop as a miracle. He knew that she was the only one that could use it, and he wanted her to tap into that full power for her to stop resisting it. The captain came out of his hiding spot, his bow aimed towards her. You can't win. Surrender, Alice said. It's over, Tanya-san, said Naruto. Tanya screamed. Shut up, she yelled, as she turned her gun towards Albedo and Alice. Quad shot. Magic bullet fire. Magi mind, she said. Her tone was deranged. 4 magic circles appear as they turn into fire, blazing hot. She's going to fire them with 4 wide area bombs. Kurama yelled to Naruto. Warning. Mana level too low for... Shut up, she yelled at the pendant. Alice. Albedo yelled. She jumped in front of her friend to shield her with her body. Stop, Naruto yelled out. Gravita, as he tried to pull her down using the gravitational spell. Got you, Tanya said. As she was pulled down, she placed the rifle tip right in Naruto's chest before she could hit the ground. She fired. The 4 spells then ignite into a colossal boom. A sea of fire spread and enveloped the entire place. It went up in the sky like a mushroom cloud. Naruto! Mei screamed out. The attack was point blank range. Mei leaped out of her hiding spot, not caring, as she rushed to find Naruto. Warning: mana level at 1%. Dependent, told Tanya. As more cracks start to appear. One down. 3 to go, Tanya said as she panted heavily. As she looked towards Mei, with a sick twisted grin on her face. As Mei turned towards her with a growl. You die now, said Mei, as she pointed the crossbow right towards her. How cute, Tanya said, as she raised her shield. She brought her rifle up only for it to stuck, as she tried to move it but she could not. I got you. Her eyes went wide in shock and horror as she heard that voice, as a dark grey hand was holding onto the end of the rifle, followed by a heavily burnt Naruto, who had survived the attack. She thought that she just vaporized him, and yet, there he stood, between thermal fluctuation and my own fire resistance, and the others buffing me. I was able to cut it down a lot, but, for God's sakes, it still hurts. As his left arm was burnt, coming up towards his chest area. The right side of his face was covered in blood as well. However, what Tanya did notice was, his hand was inside of her barrier holding her rifle, because he had stepped in before she cast it, so he could draw the rest of his body in if he so pleased. And he did. His fist smashed into her face, the force of a speeding truck slamming into her. It momentarily dislodged her skull. As blood flew out of her mouth, several of her teeth were knocked out as she was sent sailing. Naruto was still holding her rifle, as she was sent within the forest. No more shooting for you, said Naruto as he threw the rifle aside. Tanya got up, shaking, as her knees were shaking heavily. She spat up blood and teeth. I'm not done, she said. She reached. There was a holster on her leg as she pulled out a small gun. The accuracy of this gun is abysmal, and the damage dealt is simply disgusting, but it's better than fighting barehanded. Tanya tried to fly upwards, however, the moment she was a few centimeters up, she collapsed downwards. What the? She said, confused. The pendant was glitching. Flight abilities. Not working. It kept on glitching in and out. Just work, you piece of junk, she said as she slammed her fist on top of it, adding more cracks to it. It's over. As Naruto and a clone was rushing towards her. Giant Rasengan. No, stay away, she yelled. As she raised her gun, however, the captain fired his arrow as it pierced right in her shoulder, turning the arm into stone. There, the secret ability of the Medusa Great Bow. Petrifying arrow, the captain said, in a righteous tone, as the two Naruto reached their target and shoved the Rasengan right on her chest. The scream of agony was blood-curdling. Damage, mana level, at 0%. It shattered. Boom! The following explosion was terrifying. Even Olaf and the rest of his convoy was blown back by the force. The shockwave spread through the entire place, ripping and tearing the ground apart. It was colossal and deadly. When the smoke finally cleared away, Naruto and Tanya were nowhere to be seen. The explosion that followed after the pendant went boom. It released magic that spiraled all over the place. And both of them were gone. Somewhere. Time and space unknown. When Tanya Van Digekarf finally opened her eyes, she found herself in a familiar position. She was in a complete white area, where her body and soul, they were hurting, and she could not even scream. I see that you have finally awoken. A gentle voice spoke. Being X, Tanya said tiredly. However, she still showed her hatred in her tone. No, that interloper has not arrived yet. Daishi, Takamura, the voice said, making Tanya's eyes widen in shock and surprise. It has been a while since you heard your name from your previous life, doesn't it? Who who are you? She finally said. I guess introductions are in order. I am Ifrian, and the stone that you're wearing in your pendant happened to be the heart of Pyro, the guardian of fire. More importantly, one of my children, Ifrian said, as he appeared in front of Tanya. Ifrian was a titanic phoenix, larger than a skyscraper, dark red, plumage with a gold lining, with pure fire on his back and sharp talons. His feathers looked metallic, and his beak and head were lacking a proper opening for his mouth. It looked like an iron mass, with flaming eyes. So, are you here for revenge? Tanya said, sounding like she resigned to her fate. None of that, to be honest. I'm here to make you an offer. I've been watching you since your being X forcefully brought you into this world, and to be sure that you understand why I'm here. Let's just say that I'm a part of a group that is tracking qualified personnel during their work life and can quickly and precisely locate a suitable candidate for a specific job requirement. My partner, Verdora, and Malvis has found their candidates. Now, it is your turn. The Titan answered. Wait, so you're saying that you're a headhunter? She said with a weak smile. Pretty much. As of now, I can't openly trust you with my core, because I and Malvis are the only ones holding the seal intact, since we need Verdora to awaken. But I can trust you with my child's core to aid you. Should I bless you with my core, you won't need interlopers, miracles, for it to work. That is if you promise not to abuse it. He said miracle like it was a bitter taste in his mouth. And why should I switch from one maniac to another? You also believe that you're some sort of god, Tanya said in a sarcastic tone. Well, if I was a real god, I would really help my children and the people of Elrond. At best, me and my brothers are mortars, cursed with an endless sleep, with powers that we can't even use to fix our problems. Contrary to what Bean X had told you, me and my brothers used to listen to the prayers of the people, and they had no doubt about our existence because we did not just stand aside and watch, we actually got involved. Well, just from hearing that, it sounds like you're better than Bean X, she said. However, she was still not fully convinced. I'm not sure if I should take that as a compliment or not. How about this? You help us, and I will personally see to it that neither Bean X or his followers or any of his people would ever bother you. They will be gone forever. And also making that you will have a very peaceful life ahead of you, if you so wish. As long as you agree that you will not turn into the next Dark Lord. Because if you do, I will hunt you to the end of this earth and burn your soul to ashes and erase you completely. You know, that doesn't sound too much different from the deal I already have with my ongoing employer. Are you sure about that? I am not forcing you to pray to us or Mother Elrond or someone else. Neither am I forcing you to accept my offer. I'm merely informing you that there's a nice, cozy place open up for you. She was quiet as he asked, so? You're not holding back information, are you? She said. Guilty as charged, he said to her. He leaned forward until the tip of his beak touched her chest. Your Bean X was not very clever in choosing this world to put you in. There are certain things in motions like others. He missed in his own world, if I saw his memories well. She glanced towards him, such as she asked, the man that is currently hunting us, me and my brothers for our cores. His plans are far darker than what any of his followers even know. Plans that will cause utter destruction for everything. I would want to say that you have no choice but to do this, But it's not my style in forcing anyone to do anything. But if your precious kingdom fulfill your king desires and wishes, everything will cease to exist, even heaven and hell. What? She said, looking a bit concerned. Why exactly do you think me, Malvus, and Veritora used to sleep? Why do you think the lesser titans never let themselves be awakened? Our dreams are connected and unified to create a prison for a being of dark, undescribable power. If all of us are awakened, or even worse, destroyed, that monster, that shadow will be set free upon this world. It will then devour it. And it will not stop there. It will continue on and on and on. And when there is nothing else in the material world for it to eat, it will transcend toward the spirit world. And there is no gods or devil that can escape this being of pure hunger. So you're trying to say even if I win my bets that I have with being X, I will lose everything else. All the same, she said in despair. Yes, your victory would only be short-lived. Sooner or later the shadow would reach the heavens and devour everything there. So don't let X fool you. He's not omnipotent. No amount of stolen prayers would make him seem to be a god here. We do not see ourselves as gods, more like employers. For our land, we get paid in prayers, and we do little concessions here. Curing illness, making sure the fishermen had good catch, making good crops, healthy children and luck for the merchants on their travels. Considering that we do have the power and we get paid in their prayers, I cannot tell why we wouldn't try to intervene and help. The more we answer, the more people believe, and the more prayers we get. It is as it is said, I give to you, so I may get something back from you. It's quite fitting, don't you think, he said. Be as it may, you're not exactly giving me a choice here, Tanya said. I am merely asking you to give a hand to Mollis, champion, Naruto, and Verdora, champion, Rimuru. And contrary to them, you have the option to refuse. Should you refuse, I will look elsewhere for a champion and let you be. The only incentive I can give you is about me killing Being X now, and promise that me and my brothers will exterminate his friends. Once you help us stop the king of your land and his plans, he answered. And if I refuse, you will let me walk away. Knowing all of this, she said, I can erase our meeting out of your head quite easily, he said. I should have known. So I guess simply killing the king or completely destroying the nation and wiping it from the face of the world will not help. Unfortunately, the king has already left a long time ago. He and his elf wife has created those two doppelgangers in their place. They are somewhere far away that not even me and my brothers can find them. Otherwise, I would have burned the country myself. However, he is without our grasp. So we need you and the two other champions to go and find him and stop him. Should you accept, that is. She was quiet as he continued. What I'm offering you is freedom. You yourself notice how, somehow your plans to avoid conflict and chaos fail miserably, and you are forced to use the full power of that pendant and start praying to X. And how you started doing that without even using that power. Help us in our time of need, and I promise you, no other deity will ever bother you again. I promise this on my life. You would risk your life on this. My life in exchange for the safety of my brothers and the living world and all the other existence. It is something I would gladly give up to ensure that everything is safe. It has always been my duty to protect the mortals, no matter the cost. He raised to his full height to answer her in full honesty. That surprised her a little. I can accept that. Just no. Should your answer be no, the moment you deny, your memories will be erased of this. Same go for if you try to alert anyone within your kingdom or the people before the 2 days expire. I accept, she said. Good. As a sign of good faith, I will remove being X from the equation. It is high time that the interloper be gone. It was his action that brought you here and helped the kingdom locate the titan of fire that set this plan in motion in the first place. He answered in rage as his body was glowing with flames to show how angry he was at being X. Come here, you spoiled child. His tail lashed out in several different directions, piercing the whiteness until it grabbed onto something. Got you. Tanya even felt a bit fear, the tone that he used as he was dragging Being X towards him. I said, come here! The smaller form of Being X was slammed in front of the titanic phoenix. Hello, little child. Welcome to your judgment day. What is the meaning of this? Free me this instant! Being X growled. Hello there, Being X. Fancy meeting you here, Tanya said with a smile on her face as she saw him quivering on the ground, helpless. You, what have you done? Have you fallen so much that you are now relying on false gods? Quit your yapping, you two-faced, full of nothing. The phoenix god bellowed, pulling the chains of his tail, causing Being X to slam down into the ground. Now, as I was saying, be quiet and do not make a fool of yourself, child, the phoenix said, tugging on him again. Release me this instant, and you might be spared for your... Being X was cut off as the phoenix god pulled him toward his face. When he opened the metal gauntlet that seemed to be over his face to show that he indeed have a mouth, inside was nothing but a swirling tornado of flames, hot enough to make hell look like a winter resort. So he asks, as flames came out and burned X's long beard. I believe I can offer you 5 minutes of my time to hear you out. So speak fast because I am a rather busy god. Eat him, and I switch side right now, Tanya said. No, please, don't eat me. That would be blasphemy, X said. No, it would be food poison, because I would be eating something rotten and spoiled. The phoenix slammed him on the ground. Now sit down and listen, he said. As you've noticed, you have entered a world where you have no power, straining yourself to even add Miss Tanya to convert to your fate. Do you plan on abandoning your world to move into ours? X was silent as he refused to answer. Speak! The phoenix shouted as the tail chains started to glow purple, making X's eyes bulge out. Yes, I was planning on coming here, he said. He was forced to speak without his control. I see. So you forced me here to strengthen your powers, so that you can cross over and take over, Tanya said. And what about your original world? Phoenix asked. All of those fools are lost. They no longer respect or fear the gods. They no longer offer themselves to us or pray to us. Have you tried giving them time of your time? Have you tried acting on their prayers? Have you tried answering their prayers? If you want their prayers, show them that there is someone to pray to. Do you think the humans would just pass on their knowledge to the younger generation about you when they have no idea if you truly exist or not? You stupid child. Why should we accede? You fool. Faith is built upon, not a fancy gadget that you get when you acquire your position. Do you mean to tell me that you could not help more often? From what I saw within Miss Tanya's memories, you were always claiming to be the Almighty. I suppose it was just nothing but propaganda. They have to help themselves. Like that they will grow. We cannot always help them, X said. Should they help themselves? Of course, it does help them grow. But even the will of the humans, the elves, the orcs, the centaurs, there is always an obstacle that is too vast for them to overcome. And that is where you come in and give them a push, like a father would, and show them where to act in their time of need. But you don't. Instead, you abandon them. No one learned how to walk by themselves. We always have someone guiding us. In the beginning, Someone to help us, someone to show us the right way. But you, on the other hand, you just left them, believing that they should pray to you even when you turn your backs on them. You sicken me. You did all of that in your world. And now you're trying to come over and start it in my world. Your actions have started a chain of obstacles that, if not stopped, it would lead to utter destruction of all. And that's all because you interfere with something that you know nothing about. You stupid, idiotic child. X started to scream as flames started to burn him. I can stop the evil. I am a god, X said. You fool. You have no idea what you're tampering with. You didn't even have the power to help your own people, but you think you can destroy the monstrosity that me and my brothers and the other titans slept to contain for thousands of years. You know nothing. You are just an insignificant bug who has created chaos from being too curious. And for that, my child, help me, X said, looking over towards Tanya. He was afraid. You're reaping exactly what you sow. No, he screamed as the flames started to devour him. As the phoenix leaned forward and swallowed him whole. Bean X could be heard screaming. The unquenchable flames burning and skewering his very existence into nothingness. Until nothing remained. He was no more, erased, never to be returned. My part of the deal has been done. That being will never return to any existence. If his world is lucky, his idiotic son should be able to run things. At least he looked like someone that can properly take charge and make a change. So I can just hope that he will do a better job. So, I have 2 days to decide, Tanya said. Yes, but please, at least consider the idea of lending us a hand. I'll think about it, she said. Thank you. That is all I ask. No rest. With that, Tanya started to drift away. You deserve it. That was the last thing she heard before she fell. An unknown time later, with Naruto, as he could feel the bandage on him as he came to. With a soft pillow his head was resting on, as he could smell the medical herbs. Good morning. Slept well, a familiar voice said. A glass of water was presented to him, as a pair of strong arms helped him sit up. Where am I? Said Naruto, as he looked around. In one of Serena's city, best inns, Maiden Heart. You know, we were all damn worried about you, you know, Olaf said, as he sighed and filled up a new glass. What about the others? And that kid, Naruto asked. That soldier is staying in the room next to us, with a couple of guards to stop her from leaving. However, ever since she woke up yesterday, she has not moved. She's just sitting there, thinking. Princess Alice and her friend are okay. They went to speak to the king to talk about what happened and answering a few questions about the kid soldier. The captain and I have vouched for you and May to smooth things over so that you could stay here without any trouble, Olaf said as he sat back in the chair. May must have been worried sick, said Naruto. She was a wreck. 3 days you were out and almost dead. She never slept a wink to protect you. And let me tell you this, the war bears were damn angry this time of year, and they would have loved to eat you like a little snack. However, she tore through them with such ferocity. Is she okay? She's more than okay. Watch, Olaf said, as he walked towards the window and opened it. Hey, May, guess who's awake, he yelled, with a smile down below. As Naruto could hear the place being torn down before, the door was kicked open and something slammed right into him. You're alive! May yelled as she hugged him tightly, squeezing him as well. Not for long if you hug me like this, said Naruto. Don't even try to make me worry ever again like that, said May. Okay, is Naruto blink. You look different, he said. Oh yeah, I evolve. We're both hobgoblins now, said May, with a bright smile. And indeed, she did look really different as Naruto's eyes widen. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next part and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so you posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. I indeed have 4 of them, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.